So the combination of environmental and design is really what drives people to come to this program. You can actually then either be a designer or you can go in the environmental planning field. So the aspects of the field of landscape architecture are very broad, and there's a lot of different job opportunities in this field.
I'm a landscape architect who works in a non-traditional way. What I do largely is bring people together to make design decisions about their communities. And this is everybody. This is people who work for the city, but this is also people who maybe they work for the bank or they're a school teacher. It doesn't really matter. The point is they're interested in their community and they want to make change in it. You know, so there's an added benefit. Sure. We want to attract people to our downtowns and people from outside the city. So it's win-win for everybody.
It also helps in terms of stormwater infiltration and management.
Yeah,
so
right,
yeah,
sure,
definite multiple uses. And the thing too is it picks up on an existing green connection.
And also working with the planners and making sure that the integrated whole or the vision of a community that we come up with meets all those criteria. So often the landscape architect makes a great project manager for an integrated type project because we have the vocabulary to talk through all those different languages.
Richmond is a great client to work for. They approached us a couple years ago wanting to do a unique children's play environment. And what we were hired to do was really to facilitate the design process. We really looked to the kids to design this playground for us. And we got them to create, through clay, their ideal play spaces. They told us things like they really wanted to see trees and flowers. They wanted to see the sun and the rain. They really put an emphasis on water. We looked at those elements and proceeded with two different approaches. One relied more heavily on equipment, and the other one was much more nature-based. And we presented these ideas to the City of Richmond, and they were all for the more natural direction, which is also what the kids so adamantly supported. It's initiated by this button here, and you can see the water starts filling up and pouring over. At no point is it really deep, so it maintains safety that way. But as the water fills up here, kids have a chance to interact and play with it, and it begins running down this channel. Kids gather objects, whether they're cups or other floating objects, and have little races down the hill. The water can actually be stopped by the kids, allowed to fill up, and then allowed to run out. The municipal water supply actually flows out into the pond behind me, and this is a man-made pond that actually would be topped up with the municipal water supply anyway. So this flowing through the park is just a way to intercept it, have some fun with it before it fills up the pond. And all of our equipment here is either manually pumped or it's on a timer so that when the park's not in use, there's no water flowing out through the park.
Now, with the environmental concerns at the forefront in the world, our clients are looking at us and recognizing this for what we do, and they're asking for green roofs, stormwater initiatives, living walls, and all things that will help heal the planet.
This living roof on the new Vancouver Convention Centre, it's providing 6 acres of plant material that cleanses the air, that cools the air in the urban setting, and provides places for birds to nest and insects to live. From a sustainable standpoint, we have no stormwater coming off the site. All the rainwater is collected. The grey water is reused in the irrigation system. We're just seeing green roofs now become more prevalent and prominent in urban settings particularly. So we find that most of our projects, whether they're commercial or residential, the clients want to have a green component on their roof.
So we need young people to really tackle these issues which we are currently engaged with and really develop them further. And the best way is to do that while they go to have a good education at the universities. And then also in conjunction, particularly in the environmental field, it's also very important for them to go out and work in the practical field, like in the nursery.
We actually were out there in the field growing plants, pruning, learning about maintenance, and I think that's where some of the education and experience comes from, and also some of the passion comes from, and that's what I think young people can relate to more than just reading about it, is to get involved.
Having an awareness and appreciation for plants and natural processes is really important, and understanding or having a willingness to have compassion for people and understanding what value people can provide for you as a designer in the design process.
The changing needs of how we address habitat restoration, food production, energy production.
It's not about getting a degree at the end and being educated in one field and stick that piece on the wall. It's about get passionate about the field, really indulge into the field, and it's that mission we want to convey, because in the end of the day, landscape architecture is not a really well-paid job, but it's a passionate job, and it's a job which keeps you going a whole career, because it's just so rewarding to see the environment thrive.
The really exciting thing about the work I do, and the thing that makes me sometimes a little bit teary, it's ridiculous, but I guess I'm just that personality, is when you're in a room with a lot of community members and with their senior officials, and you're having conversations about their place, where they live, which is so important to them, and they get excited about it, and they see the potential for change, and they come up with those answers themselves. And all you've done is facilitate the process. All the answers come from them. You just sort of manage it a little bit. And the change that happens and the spark that comes into people's eyes, and how they leave at the end of a session hugging the person that they used to yell at about bike infrastructure, is just the most amazing, amazing thing. It gets you a little worked up. And that's a real thing that happens.